Welcome to Basketball Cinema, where we revisit the most important and iconic games in NBA history. I'm Jay Canada, and today we're looking at Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors. Now, this is one of only 8 NBA Finals which has gone the full 7 games since the NBA-ABA merger in 1976, and put a cap on what was arguably the NBA's most defining playoff run of the 2010s. The Golden State Warriors set a new NBA record, finishing the season with a 73-9 record, eclipsing the 1996 Chicago Bulls, who previously held the record with 72 wins, and they were led by Stephen Curry, who set the league ablaze en route to winning his second consecutive league MVP award, this time by a unanimous count. The 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers on the opposite side were led by LeBron James, plausibly the most polarizing athlete of the modern era, who had returned to his home city of Cleveland just 23 months earlier after spending 4 years sipping mojitos on South Beach, and who many claimed had lost his crown as league's best player to the aforementioned Curry.
When the stakes are at their highest, Steph Curry has proven to me to be a little mentally tougher than LeBron James.
After rolling through the regular season, the Warriors ran into trouble when Steph Curry was sidelined for 6 of the team's 10 playoff games in the first 2 rounds of the Western Conference playoffs. The Warriors survived, of course, but since 2016, there has been no shortage of discourse on whether or not Curry's play was hampered by that knee injury come the NBA Finals. Personally, the only opinion on this matter that matters to me is the one that came from Curry himself. In November 2016, Curry told ESPN's Darren Rovell, "I wasn't 100%, but who cares? I was playing. I was out there trying to help my team win, and that's all that really matters." Now, I'm not sure what the phrase "straight from the horse's mouth" actually means, but I do think it applies here. Curry and the Warriors seem to be the team of destiny, as they turn the tables on the OKC Thunder in the conference finals, coming back down from 3 games to 1, thanks in large part to a nuclear shooting performance from Klay Thompson in Game 6, and an absolute meltdown by Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in 3 consecutive closeout games. I'm sorry, Thunder fans. The Cavaliers, meanwhile, cruised through the East playoffs, dropping only a pair of games to the LeBronto Raptors, but were dealt a rude wake-up call when they lost games 1 and 2 of the finals by a combined 48 points, and eventually finding themselves on the wrong end of yet another 3-1 series record. From there, the story has truly become infamous. Draymond Green was suspended for Game 5 after receiving his 4th flagrant foul point of the playoffs, another point of contention for fans looking back at this series, because without Draymond, both Kyrie Irving and LeBron James scored 41 points to extend the series. Green returned to action for Game 6 in Cleveland, and as predicted by many, locked down James, holding him to just 41 points and 11 assists. That can't be right. Either way, the stage was set for what promised to be an extremely monumental Game 7 of the NBA Finals, with both teams healthy and prepared. Wait, I just got a note. Yes, that's right. Warriors fans wanted me to let you all know that Andrew Bogut was injured and unavailable for Game 7. Man, if that doesn't put an asterisk on this ring, am I right? The Warriors and Cavs did battle June 16, 2016 with the Larry O'Brien Trophy on the line, and here's how it went down. Oh man, remember life when people were able to gather and be close to each other to yell at a bunch of dudes playing basketball? Good times. Good times, man. Plenty of people dislike the way LeBron James talks about his own accomplishments, but with regards to the 2016 NBA Finals, there was a large number of folks who acknowledged just how great a feat it would be to come back from down 3-1.
If he pulls this off, Mike, in my opinion, it will be the greatest feat in the history of this game by an individual.
Also prior to tip-off, former NBA coach Jeff Van Gundy giving some helpful advice to Steph Curry.
If he can avoid poor decisions with fouls, he takes care of the ball, and he shoots the ball like we know how, he can cap off a truly memorable season.
Sure hope Steph listens. In addition to this game appearing strange because, well, it feels like an eternity ago that 20,000 people were able to pack into one building, I was also blown away at the fact Cleveland was wearing jerseys with sleeves on them for this game. Has anyone else basically blocked out the fact that the NBA thought it was a good idea for teams to wear sleeve jerseys for 4 years? Also though, the sleeve jerseys have been gone since 2017, and man, I kinda miss those ugly things. What a paradox this is. Someone call Christopher Nolan, I have a very confusing movie idea to pitch him. Festus Ezeli started his first playoff game in this Game 7. That decision would age poorly, as we'll see, and it didn't start so great either.
Who misses from point-blank range.
It was also an ominous start to the game for Steph Curry, who missed his first 3 so badly, I'm pretty sure they could hear the thud from Santa Barbara County. Harrison Barnes hit a 3-ball early for the Warriors, which was kind of a miracle, apparently.
Barnes in the last 2 games, 2 for 22, and he had missed his last 14 shots from the field.
And the Cavs were inexplicably not locked in defensively out the gates. I mean, look how wide open they left Draymond Green. Wide open! Unbelievable. Oh, and Festus Ezeli missed again. Both Cavalier superstars started slowly in this game. Kyrie's first hoop coming about 5 minutes in, and of course, in ridiculously difficult fashion. Kyrie would go on to hit a fairly large shot in this game. No spoilers, of course, but it's still absolutely mesmerizing to watch his highlights from 2016. His shot making in Game 5 was the closest any of us will ever get to seeing Leonardo da Vinci in his prime. I mean, what an absolute artist. Into the first time out of the game, the Cavs had taken their first W of this game, avoiding a potential Warriors flood off rip. Steph Curry checked into this game with his first make in typical Steph Curry fashion. Meanwhile, LeBron was starting extremely slowly on the other side. His second turnover of the first quarter in careless fashion, and here is his third of the quarter. Man, prime Draymond Green really had clamps. More terrible Cleveland defense, this time by LeBron James deciding to not guard Klay Thompson at the three-point line. Hey, LeBron, yeah, Klay Thompson, actually a pretty good shooter, like he's made a few in his career. I suppose that lapse sort of woke up LeBron, who levitated to the rim like he was wearing the cloak of his second hoop of the game. Guys, trust me when I say LeBron was sleepwalking in this first quarter of Game 7. Yet, he still had 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now feels like a good time for the Harrison Barnes conversation. As we heard earlier, Mike Breen highlight, Barnes was 2 for 22 from the field in games 5 and 6, 1 for 11 from 3. I mean, the guy couldn't hit the Pacific Ocean if he tried. Inexplicably, he came out firing in game 7, and misses on 2 consecutive possessions made him 1 for 5 in the first quarter. These Warriors could really use an upgrade at small forward. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention in the intro, but it had been like a really long time since a Cleveland team had ever won, well, anything. Like a really long time. I think the Beatles were still relevant back then. Something that was and is still simply joyful to watch is the way Steph Curry moves off the ball. Here goes his second three of the first quarter off a give and go in the corner of the floor without an actual angle to maneuver. Kyrie let up on defense for a millisecond, and Steph had already bolted into the corner for a wide open look. The Warriors hit 5 threes as a team in the first quarter. The Cavs hit 0. The Cavs had 4 turnovers while the Warriors only had 2. Combined with a weird LeBron performance, I'm still not sure how Cleveland managed to escape the first quarter with a 1-point lead. More of the same to start the second quarter as well. Game 7 was truly a back and forth slugfest. The two best teams in the league exchanging body blows. This really is the good stuff, man. Well, I think so. Apparently Steph Curry was bored by the whole exhibition. Look at this dude sitting on the bench biting his fingernails. That's gross, bro. Like, honestly. The Cavs missed their first 8 3-point attempts of this game, including a brick from Mo Williams? Seriously? Mo Williams? What is this, 2009? Side note on Mo Williams, he was an all-star in Cleveland playing alongside LeBron James in his original Cleveland stint, then played with 5 different teams before returning back to Cleveland to appear on the 2016 team. While stocked in Minnesota, Mo Williams randomly dropped 52 points in a game in 2015. Yes, Mo Williams 50-piece some team about a year before this Game 7. I mean, how much help did LeBron need? Anyways, Mo played 5 minutes in this game, and the Warriors let him get a free bucket because why not? Okay, bye!
So Mo Williams all alone.
Draymond Green continued his low-key fire Game 7 performance in which he shot 6 for 8 from deep, but the Cavs answered back shortly as Iman Shumpert said F that noise and banged the first 3-ball of the game for Cleveland, a 4-point play nonetheless. Shout out to Iman Shumpert, man. I mean, a 4-point play in a Game 7, kinda ridiculous. Also, listening to him talk basketball is dope. Here he is explaining the greatness of LeBron.
He has to share basketball knowledge with people. It might be his biggest superpower, his ability to get everybody on the same page. Like, it's actually kind of scary.
Also, a straight bullet caught by the greatest show in television history during a live read from Mike Breen.
Bill Hader, Kevin Nealon, and Bachelorette bad boy Chad are just some of Kimmel's guests next week. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would say the words Bachelorette bad boy Chad on national TV.
It's true though, Chad did suck. Unreal call from JoJo to choose Jordan Rodgers. At this point in the game, both teams started getting star moves from their star players. Steph, LeBron, Draymond, and Kyrie all doing work. Honestly, a great job by the stars to keep this game from falling into a serious malaise, seeing as how low-scoring games are generally not as entertaining or engaging.
Thompson drives, back up top, Green, sets for 3, got it! Irving drives into the lane, layup rolls around and drops in. Pass deflected. Green tries another 3. Draymond Green, 4 for 4. Irving off the glass and one.
As I mentioned in the intro, a huge part of what made this series even more interesting was the implicit and sometimes explicit head-to-head rivalry of Steph Curry and LeBron James. Here's one of 6 LeBron blocks of Steph in the finals, and the jawing back and forth following is just so very tasty. We got our first bang moment of Game 7 here in the second quarter.
Bang!
Yes, from Draymond of all people, who again was really awesome in this game. I can't stress it enough. Following that bang and an and one on the other end from LeBron James, the Warriors finally got their first somewhat sustained run of the game. Draymond flexing all over J.R. Smith with the and one of his own. What do we call that, Mark Jackson?
Grown man move.
A pretty touch pass from Klay Thompson to former 6th Man of the Year Leandro Barbosa, who splashed the 10th three of the first half for Golden State, giving them a 7-point lead, which would end up being the spread into halftime. With both teams shooting 40% or worse from the field, this definitely wasn't pretty, but man, what a game. As pointed out by the legend Doris Burke, Ty Lue made a low-key great coaching move by holding out Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson for an unusually large chunk of the first half.
I asked him about why he went away from Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love. He said they both got a couple of fouls. He said, I didn't want them picking up the third to change the equation here in the second half.
These are the small actions from coaches that can often swing a championship deciding game. As the second half got underway, you got the feeling that it was another great chance for the Warriors to land a knockout blow with a quick... and Festus Ezeli is back with another miss. Never mind then. It didn't matter, however, as the Warriors did have a quick spurt. Is that Klay Thompson's music? Yes, it is, as the sharpshooting 2-guard hit back-to-back shots, 5 of his 14 points on the night, and that gave the Warriors an 8-point lead, their biggest of the game. It's at this point in the video, I'll finally shout out a name we've all been waiting for. Someone we'll talk about a bit more later, but a guy who was instrumental in shifting Game 7, J.R. Smith. The moment Golden State appeared to take control, it wasn't LeBron James or Kyrie Irving to pull the Cavs back, it was JR with back-to-back contested 3-point bombs. JR was low-key pivotal in the finals, playing 37 minutes per game in the series. Kyrie Irving clinically broke down Festus Ezeli, and just like that, Game 7 was tied in the third quarter. Game 7 wasn't a banner night for the unanimous MVP Steph Curry, who finished with just 17 points on 6 of 19 shooting, but an exquisite run of play for him here, breaking up a Cavs fast break and finishing through contact on the other end. Shortly thereafter, he splashed one of his trademark take that threes, which sent Oracle into a frenzy.
Timeout, Cleveland.
But the Cavs simply wouldn't say die on this night. Kevin Love finished a broken play on LeBron James' 9th assist, LeBron converted a pair of free throws, and Kyrie Irving finished beautifully at the rim to give Cleveland their first lead since midway through the second quarter. Again, I'll foreshadow the rather large shot Kyrie Irving eventually hit in Game 7, but his other biggest contribution came during this stretch in the third quarter. After giving the Cavs their first lead in an eternity, Kyrie followed it up with 8 straight points, including an all-time great finish over Draymond Green.
Oh, what a sweet move from Kyrie Irving.
I mean, come on. Calling this man an artist earlier seems disrespectful. He's straight up a wizard. He also casually walked into this 3-ball, and like that, for Kyrie Irving, he came, he saw, he conquered. But as you'd probably expect, the Warriors cared not for Kyrie's heroics and made a mini run of their own, helped by another, and trust me, I say this with the utmost amount of respect possible, boneheaded play by LeBron James. Ticky-tack as the foul call may have been, fouling Draymond Green on a jumper even when he was shooting as well as he did on this night. I mean, Bron, you are so much better than that, my guy. Draymond poured in another 3 to bring the Dubs within 2, and after former Finals MVP Andre Iguodala decided to finally join Game 7, the Warriors had themselves a lead once again heading into the 4th. Now, by this point in the video, I bet there's a few of you who have the impression that I'm a LeBron James hater or something, and trust me, that could not be farther from the truth. But through 3 quarters, by his standards, LeBron wasn't awesome. He'd obviously made enough plays to help put the Cavs in the spot they were, and 16 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists through 3 quarters, well, it's impressive. But I feel like my criticism thus far has been entirely fair. Cleveland needed him to separate from the pack and dominate the 4th quarter. Yeah, spoiler alert on that one. James opened the 4th quarter with an awkward finish in the lane over Sean Livingston. He also notched his final assist of the game as Kevin Love, he became the only Cavalier not named Kyrie Irving or LeBron James to score in the 4th quarter. Hey, Harrison Barnes got a wide open okay, that is a brick, yeah. Kyrie performing more wizardry following his own shot, one of his 2 converted field goals in the 4th quarter. What was his other hoop? again. Draymond Green hit 30 points on the night with this nifty blow-by past LeBron. 2016 Draymond was truly a different breed. What a dynamic performance in this game. Oh hey, Harrison Barnes, another wide open look to give the Warriors. Nah, never mind. Nope, he bricked it again. None of us can feel too badly for Harrison Barnes considering he got a bag from Dallas a couple months after this game, but man, was he horrible in these finals. My guy was basically the Falcon in Captain America Civil War, given the chance to run with some real superheroes, and all he did was get broken down by some 15-year-old in underoos.
I hate you.
From this point forward, all the scoring was done from both sides by the stars, truly stamping this game. LeBron with a floater over Barnes and Draymond to give the Cavs a 3-point lead, Steph Curry with a quick answer to nullify that lead immediately, and Klay Thompson with his big toe on the line sent Cleveland to a timeout down by a bucket with just over 6 minutes remaining. Now remember a little while ago back when I said, these are the small actions from coaches that can often swing a championship deciding game. Well, copy and paste that into this moment, but in a negative light. Out of the timeout, Steve Kerr decided to put Festus Ezeli back in the game. With 6 minutes remaining in a championship deciding game, why in the world would any Warrior other than Curry, Thompson, Green, Iguodala, Livingston, or Barnes be on the floor? Yes, I would have even settled for Harrison Barnes. At least he could defend. I understand the Cavs ended up running with both Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson on the floor down the stretch, but it was so beyond obvious that this moment was way too large for poor Festus Ezeli. Draymond Green was able to put back a Steph Curry missed layup to give the Warriors a 4-point lead, and you could sense at this moment that Golden State faithful believed their team had something cooking. Now remember when I said this about LeBron James. Cleveland needed him to separate from the pack and dominate the fourth quarter. This is exactly when LeBron separated himself in Game 7. He targeted Ezeli on the court and forced him to switch on defensively, and LeBron methodically drew 3 free throws, all of which he knocked down rather cold-bloodedly. For all the criticism I did levy towards LeBron, the way he took the reins for Cleveland in this moment, it was truly special. James attempted 5 of the final 9 shots for the Cavs, blocking any potential too passive commentary. Whether he was nursing an injury or not, this play lives in infamy for Steph Curry, as he tossed the pass carelessly out of bounds, a truly head-scratching moment for the 2-time MVP. The Cavs made sure to capitalize as once again, LeBron methodically forced Festus Ezeli to switch onto him, and, well, take it away, Mike Breen.
James steps back for 3, puts it in! LeBron James from downtown!
What? I thought we were getting a bang. Oh well. Klay Thompson followed up for the Warriors, slicing to the rim with his left hand to tie the game, and he tied the game for the rest of eternity. I'm just kidding, of course, but it was a treacherous 3 minutes and 46 seconds before another basket was scored in this game. Steph Curry missed a wide open 3 that could have broke things open a bit. Klay Thompson missed a makeable midi. LeBron, as mentioned, took control for Cleveland, but it wasn't exactly a work of art as he was, blocked by Iguodala. It was actually a pretty clear foul by Iguodala, but hey, that's Game 7, y'all. Kevin Love got to his spot with a jump hook in the paint, but, well, he bricked it. Draymond Green had one of his best looks all game, couldn't convert. Man, you guys get the picture. This game, for as legendary as it truly was, became extremely ugly down the stretch, and you could tell the lack of offense was a combination of tired legs affecting jump shots, and guys who were truly giving their all on the defensive end of the floor. Okay, hold on. There's no possible way I can set this next sequence up, so I'm just gonna sit over here and you guys watch, okay? Great.
Irving drives, hop step inside, floats it up, misses. Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Blocked by James. LeBron James with a rejection.
So yeah, that play was it was pretty neat. What'd you think of it, Mark Jackson?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. In all seriousness, love him or hate him, LeBron James found a way to put his stamp on Game 7 of the NBA Finals in a way that very few players who have ever played the game of basketball would be able to do. In a game which scoring the ball became next to impossible, LeBron willed his team to remain alive, erasing the cleanest scoring opportunity any individual had on the court for the final 6 minutes of the game. I probably can't do this play justice, so here's one of the most fun pieces of commentary you'll ever hear on it.
I'm sitting on the bench watching the play and I see the fast break and I was like, oh, f***. And all of a sudden, because I'm watching the head of the play, and this is not an exaggeration, I'm watching this thing happening and all of a sudden I see a black blur go out of nowhere. And I was like, holy f***, he just blocked that. that play is probably the greatest defensive play in NBA history, right? Like,
again, Game 7 as a whole wasn't a LeBron James masterpiece, but he scored 11 of the Cavs' 18 fourth quarter points, pretended like he was Batman or something just for the fun of it. Now, tell me that isn't a legendary performance. It seems impossible as we remember it, but the Warriors still had a fantastic chance after this to seize control on the ensuing possession. But once again, Steph Curry was unable to find the mark on a step-back three. I know I nitpicked Kyrie Irving's defense earlier in the video, but again, injuries to Steph or not, Kyrie was able to hold the MVP down for almost the entirety of Game 7. Now, with just a shade over a minute remaining, the Cavs called their penultimate timeout, and instead of going to LeBron James like what seemed sensical, Ty Lue Uncle Drew it up for Kyrie Andrew Irving.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Okay, now what the heck, Mike Breen? Biggest shot of the decade? And you don't give us a bang? This guy, man. It's unfathomable to think that any play could surpass LeBron's block in terms of unbelievability and amazement, but for many, Kyrie Irving did just that when he launched a silky step-back three right over Stephen Curry on the right wing. This was yet another bold coaching move that has been overlooked by Ty Lue. To put the ball in Irving's hands and let him target Curry in a pick and roll, it worked to perfection. Once again, I have to tag Richard Jefferson in to break down the play because, well, it's honestly perfect.
so Bron clears me out, and I was like, good, because I want no part of this shit, right? Shot goes up, and I just stand there. I don't go offensive rebound. I don't get back. I'm just like, oh, he's shooting a three. Oh, that went in. Like again, like these are like the same reactions that fans have and that the media has. That's the same reaction we have. Like I see Kyrie Irving dribbling over there and I'm like, okay, Kai.
Richard Jefferson scored only 2 points in Game 7, yet he's the real MVP in my heart. There was one final iconic sequence in this Game 7, as with 44 seconds remaining on the game clock, Kevin Love picked up Steph Curry and stifled him for 12 seconds as Curry attempted to find any bit of daylight to launch a potentially game-tying three. Now, Love deserves all the credit in the world for locking down Curry, but a big part of me wonders if Steph was too hell-bent on shooting a three. You'd think he rather easily could have burned past Love for a quick score around the basket. Regardless, the Cavs got the stop they needed. LeBron almost Thanos snapped the NBA into an oblivion with a near posterization of Draymond Green. LeBron converted 1 of 2 free throws, which was all the Cavs needed, and we know the rest.
It's over! It's over! Cleveland is a city of champions once again! The Cavaliers are NBA champions!
You'd be hard-pressed to find a singular moment or game in NBA history that caused such a ripple in the fabric of the league as we witnessed in 2016, specifically after Game 7. Just 2.5 weeks after the game, the Golden State Warriors signed former league MVP, 4-time scoring champ Kevin Durant as a free agent. The Warriors would of course beat the Cavaliers in the next 2 NBA finals, with hired hitman Durant claiming both finals MVP awards. And even if you're a Warriors fan, you have to feel like we were cheated just a bit out of a true rematch between these Warriors and these Cavs. Durant and the Warriors suffered copious amounts of abuse for the move, but as we all know but hate to admit, it was all above board with the league, the salary cap, the CBA, all that boring stuff. Basically, the Warriors had every right to sign Durant, so they did. Another major point of discourse in the wake of all this going down was whether Durant would have signed with the Warriors if they had been able to close out the Cavaliers in 2016. Ardent LeBron haters will cling to the reports the Warriors had plans to sign Durant all along, and it wasn't spurred on by LeBron heroics in the 2016 finals. However, Durant did cryptically admit his decision was influenced by the Warriors losing Game 7 when he said, "We don't have to talk about what would have happened if the Warriors had won the title, because they didn't get the job done, and they came after me. I guess you could say I'm glad that they lost." In addition, we can look at the now infamous Draymond Green parking lot story for further confirmation. If we win the championship, I'm like 99% sure we don't get him. There are silver linings to everything. As we know, the Warriors signing Durant was the beginning of the end for any potential OKC Thunder dynasty, and it proved too high a mountain for LeBron, Kyrie, and the Cavs to scale for a second time, leading to their eventual fallout. Also, it truly cemented the need for teams to build around multiple star players just to compete. Meanwhile, for LeBron James, closing out this Game 7 meant fulfilling his promise to bring a championship to his home city, Cleveland Cavaliers, the city's only professional sports title in 52 years, and cleared the way for him to eventually jettison to LA with a clear conscience 2 years later. Though many still try to paint LeBron's legacy using the brush of his career failures, those who use logic and reason see his 2016 finals performance as a defining moment that cemented him as one of the greats. Maybe you even agree with the man himself.
No, everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, They was the greatest team to ever assemble. And for us to come back, you know, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
Kyrie Irving would request a trade from Cleveland just over a year after this game, and since then he's had himself some interesting times. You get the sense, ring or not, Kyrie would have still turned into the talented but enigmatic hooper we see today, but hey, at least he's a mystery with a ring. And one last one for you guys to chew on. Kevin Love, as underwhelming as he was in the NBA Finals, well, Kevin, he's probably a Hall of Famer thanks to winning the ring in 2016. So that's nice. For each game covered here on Basketball Cinema, I'll be giving out 3 awards, beginning with the Clint Hawkeye Barton Award for Most Underrated Performer.
I don't care.
Which goes to Earl Joseph J.R. Smith III, whose 12 points in Game 7 were third on the Cavaliers, but as pointed out earlier, he single-handedly answered the Warriors when they took their biggest lead of the game to open the third quarter, hitting back-to-back huge threes. In addition, I defy you not to feel some emotion from JR's post-game comments.
I mean, my parents, my family, that's the biggest inspiration in my life. I've been in a lot of dark spots in my life, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to get out of it.
The Rick Dalton Award for Most Recognizable Moment goes to, well, come on, I have no choice here.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
As we previously broke down, it's not a stretch to say this is the greatest defensive play in NBA history, and it's probably the defining NBA play of the entire 2010s. I mean, you can see one screenshot from the play or just hear the audio from Mike Breen, for goodness sake, and you're taken right back to the moment. And finally, the Mark Jackson,
With all due respect,
Award for Weirdest Moment in this game goes to the legend Mike Breen, who completely forgot which game Kevin Love came off the bench for after missing a game due to injury, leading to 3 seconds of really awkward dead air.
Came off the bench game. On the return from the concussion as Barnes drives.
It was game 4, by the way, Mike. We all forgive you though, don't worry. And that's it. The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Golden State Warriors 93-89 on June 19, 2016, bringing the first NBA title to the city of Cleveland and inadvertently changing the course of the NBA forever. If you enjoyed this debut episode of the show, please consider dropping a like down below. And if you can see yourself watching a few more of these in the future, I'd suggest hitting that subscribe button as well. Maybe turning notifications on too. Next week, we'll be looking at another legendary NBA Finals clinching game led by a man who took it personally once or twice. But until then, I'm Jay Canada, and this has been Basketball Cinema. Now, this is only one. It's unfathomable. Oh my word, can I speak? And who many claimed as law. Personally, the only man. It's unfathomable. Oh my goodness. And anyways, Mo Williams played about 5 games. It's unfathomable. Oh my word, I can't. With both team ticky-tack foul out. It's unfathomable. Oh my goodness.